My family ignored my promotion until my cousin posted about my new apartment. Then suddenly they needed 45K. I'm sitting in my kitchen right now, staring at a text from my mom that just came in an hour ago. 3 months of silence, and now she wants to catch up. But let me back up. I grew up in a house where my older sister Emma was the golden child. She had kids young, started a struggling photography business, and somehow that made her the center of our family's universe. Meanwhile, I was the reliable one. Good grades, steady job, never caused drama. Apparently, that made me invisible. Last weekend was supposed to be our monthly family dinner. I'd driven 4 hours from my new place in Seattle back to our hometown in Oregon. I was excited because I'd just gotten promoted to senior software engineer at my company, with a 30% raise and stock options. I'd been working toward this for 3 years. I walked into the dining room where everyone was gathered around the table. Dad was scrolling through his phone, Mom was chasing Emma's youngest daughter around, and Emma was setting up her ring light to live stream some photography workshop to her 200 followers. "Hey everyone, I have some news," I said, trying to project my voice over the chaos. "I got promoted, senior software engineer. They're also giving me a team to lead." Nothing. Dad kept scrolling. Mom caught the toddler and started wiping her face. Emma adjusted her camera angle and said into her phone, "Okay, photo lovers, today we're talking about golden hour lighting techniques." I stood there for maybe 30 seconds, waiting. Then Mom looked up briefly and said, "That's nice, honey. Can you help me get the salad from the kitchen?" I spent the next 2 hours serving food, cleaning up spills, and watching Emma's kids while she finished her live stream. When Emma announced she'd gotten 3 new client inquiries from the stream, everyone erupted in congratulations. "That's amazing, sweetheart," Mom beamed. "Your business is really taking off." Dad actually put down his phone. Smart move going digital with it. I sat there eating quietly, feeling like I didn't exist. This wasn't new, exactly. At my college graduation, they left early because Emma had a photography emergency. At my first apartment warming party, they showed up 2 hours late because Emma needed help moving her equipment. At my 25th birthday dinner that I paid for, Mom spent the entire time helping Emma edit client emails on her phone. The pattern was always the same. Emma needs something. Everyone drops everything. I succeed at something. Crickets. After dinner, I drove back to Seattle. I didn't bother saying goodbye to anyone except a quick wave. Nobody seemed to notice I was leaving anyway. That was 3 months ago. Since then, my life has honestly been pretty great. The promotion came with enough of a raise that I could finally afford a decent 1-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill. I adopted a dog, a golden retriever mix named Buster. I've been dating someone I met through work, Sarah, and things are going really well. I joined a hiking group and have been exploring the mountains every weekend. For the first time in my adult life, I wasn't spending my free time driving back home to babysit Emma's kids or help my parents with random projects. I wasn't answering their constant texts asking for tech support or money advice. I just lived my life. The silence from my family was deafening at first, but then it became peaceful. No guilt trips about missing Sunday dinners. No last-minute requests to cancel my plans because Emma needed something. Just quiet. Then yesterday happened. My cousin Jake, who I barely talked to, posted a photo on Instagram of him visiting my new apartment. We'd hung out when he was in Seattle for work, and I'd given him a tour. The photo showed my living room with its big windows overlooking the city, my new couch, the exposed brick wall. He tagged me and wrote, "Living the dream in Seattle. Thanks for showing me around your amazing place." Within 2 hours, my phone started buzzing. First was a text from Emma. "Is that really your apartment? It looks expensive." Then Mom, "Honey, Jake's post about your place looks lovely. We should catch up soon." Then Dad, "Nice setup, son. Must be doing well for yourself." I ignored them all and went to bed. This morning, I woke up to a missed call from Mom and a voicemail. "Hi, sweetie. I hope you're doing well. I know we haven't talked in a while, and that's my fault. I'd love to hear about your new job and your apartment. Could you call me back when you get a chance? Love you." 3 months of silence, and now suddenly they want to catch up? I'm not stupid. I know this is about money. but the text that came in an hour ago confirmed it. Hey, honey, I hate to ask, but Emma's business is struggling and she might lose her studio space. She needs about $45K to pay off some equipment loans and keep things going. I know you're doing well with your new job and family helps family. Could we talk about this? She's desperate and has been crying all week. You know how hard she's worked to build this business. I'm staring at this text and I honestly don't know how to respond. Part of me wants to laugh. Part of me wants to cry. But mostly, I'm just angry. They couldn't be bothered to congratulate me on the biggest achievement of my career. They couldn't even look up from their phones when I tried to share good news. But they saw a photo of my apartment and suddenly I'm family again? $45K. That's more than half my annual salary before the promotion. That's my entire emergency fund plus some. I keep thinking about Emma's struggling business. Last month, according to her Instagram, she bought a $3,000 lens. 2 months ago, she went to some photography conference in Hawaii. But apparently, I'm supposed to bail her out because family helps family. Where was that philosophy when I was eating dinner alone because they forgot my birthday? Where was family helps family when I had to figure out my career entirely on my own because they were too busy managing Emma's latest crisis? I don't know what to do here. Am I being petty? Should I help? Because she's my sister? Or is this exactly what I think it is? A family who only cares about me when they need something. Sarah thinks I should set boundaries, but she doesn't understand how complicated family dynamics can be. The hiking group guys think I should tell them to pound sand, but they're also a bunch of single guys in their 20s who think family is optional. I just feel lost. How do you handle a family that treats you like you're invisible until they need money? Edit. Thank you for all the responses. I'm reading every comment and trying to process this. Some of you have shared really similar experiences, and it helps to know I'm not crazy for feeling hurt by this. Edit 2. A few people have asked about the $45K specifically. Yes, that's the exact amount Mom mentioned. Emma's business expenses include equipment loans, studio rent, and what Mom called marketing investments. I have no idea what the breakdown is, but apparently it's urgent. Update 1. Things have escalated in ways I never expected. After reading your comments on my original post, I decided to take some time to think before responding to Mom's text about the $45K. I didn't want to react emotionally, even though I was furious. I spent a week crafting what I thought was a reasonable response. Hi, Mom. I understand Emma is going through financial difficulties with her business. However, $45K is a significant amount that represents my entire emergency fund. I'd need to understand more about the situation, see a business plan for how the money would be used, and discuss repayment terms before considering any financial assistance. Family is important to me, but so is financial responsibility. I thought this was diplomatic. I wasn't saying no, but I wasn't saying yes either. I was asking for basic information any rational person would want before lending someone nearly $50,000. Mom's response came within minutes. I can't believe you're making your sister jump through hoops like she's applying for a bank loan. She's family, not a business transaction. This is really disappointing, son. Then Emma texted me directly. I heard Mom talk to you about my situation. I know $45K sounds like a lot, but I wouldn't ask if I wasn't desperate. I've built this business from nothing, and I just need help getting through a rough patch. I promise I'll pay you back as soon as things turn around. No business plan, no timeline for repayment, no explanation of what specifically went wrong or how the money would fix it. Just, trust me, I'll pay you back. I replied asking for more details about the business situation and a realistic repayment schedule. Emma's response, I can't believe you don't trust me. After everything we've been through as a family, you're treating me like a stranger. The guilt trip had begun. Over the next few days, I got increasingly frantic messages from various family members. Apparently, Emma had told everyone that I was being difficult about helping her save her business. Uncle Mike called to tell me I was being selfish. Aunt Linda sent a Facebook message about how family comes first. Even my grandmother, who Emma usually ignores except when she needs something, called to ask why I was abandoning my sister in her time of need. But the breaking point came when Dad called. Son, I'm going to be direct with you. Your sister is about to lose everything she's worked for. I know you've got money now with this new job, and frankly, this family has always been there for you. It's time for you to step up." "How has this family always been there for me?" I asked. "We raised you, didn't we? Fed you, clothed you, put you through college." "Dad, you didn't put me through college. I have 40K in student loans that I'm still paying off. And when exactly has this family been there for me?" "Don't get smart with me. You know what I mean." "Actually, I don't. When I got my first job, nobody cared. When I got promoted, nobody listened. When I moved to Seattle, nobody asked how I was doing. But now that you think I have money, suddenly I'm part of the family again? Your sister needs help. My sister needs to run her business responsibly. I asked for basic information about what went wrong and how the money would be used, and instead of answers, I got guilt trips." "So that's it? You're just going to let her fail?" "I'm not letting her do anything. Her business problems are not my responsibility." Dad hung up on me. That night, I got a group text from Emma to the whole family. "Just wanted everyone to know that I might have to close my studio and let my employees go. I asked my brother for help, but apparently, his money is more important than family. Thanks to everyone who has been supportive during this difficult time." The manipulation was so blatant it was almost impressive. She made it sound like I was refusing to help her feed her children rather than refusing to hand over my life savings without any explanation or guarantee. The responses in the group chat were swift and brutal. "Mom, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Some people forget where they came from." "Uncle Mike, that's really disappointing. Family should come first." "Aunt Linda, praying for you, honey. You deserve better." I left the group chat, but then something unexpected happened. My cousin Jake, the one who posted the photo that started this whole mess, called me. "Dude, I'm really sorry about that Instagram post. I had no idea it would cause all this drama." "It's not your fault, Jake. You just took a picture." "Yeah, but I've been thinking about this whole situation, and something doesn't add up. Emma's been posting about buying new equipment and traveling to photography workshops all year. If her business was struggling, why was she spending money on that stuff?" Jake had done what nobody else in my family bothered to do. He looked at the evidence. "I did some digging," he continued. "Remember when she went to that workshop in Hawaii 2 months ago? She posted about staying at the Grand Wailea. That's like $500 a night. And last month she posted a story about buying that new Canon lens. I looked it up. It's $200. I noticed that too. So either her business was fine 2 months ago and something catastrophic happened, or she's been living beyond her means and expecting someone else to bail her out." Jake's words crystallized something I'd been feeling but couldn't articulate. This wasn't about a struggling business. This was about Emma's inability to manage money and her expectation that family would always be there to fix her mistakes. "There's something else," Jake said. "I talked to my mom about this whole thing, and she mentioned that Emma asked your parents for money 6 months ago. Something about equipment loans. So this isn't even the first time." That hit me like a brick. Emma had already gotten money from my parents, and she was back asking for more. How much of my parents' guilt-tripping was actually about protecting their own financial investment in Emma's business? After talking to Jake, I made a decision. I wasn't going to justify myself to anyone anymore. I wasn't going to explain why I wouldn't hand over my life savings to someone who couldn't be bothered to provide basic financial information. I sent one final text to my parents. "I will not be providing financial assistance to Emma. This decision is final. If you'd like to maintain a relationship with me that doesn't involve money, I'm open to that. Otherwise, I think we need some space." Then I blocked Emma's number. The relief was immediate. For the first time in weeks, my phone wasn't buzzing with guilt trips and manipulation. I could focus on my actual life, my job, my relationship with Sarah, my dog, my friends. Sarah has been incredibly supportive through all of this. She helped me see that healthy families don't communicate through guilt and manipulation. They don't ignore your successes and only contact you when they need something. I've been going to therapy to work through some of the family dynamics, and my therapist helped me understand that I've been trained from childhood to prioritize everyone else's needs over my own. Emma's crisis always came first. Her feelings were always more important. Her dreams were always worth sacrificing for. But not anymore. The hardest part is the sadness. I grieve for the family I thought I had, the family I wished I had. But I'm building something better now. A life where my achievements matter. Relationships where I'm valued for who I am, not what I can provide. I'm not shutting the door on my family forever, but right now I need space to figure out who I am when I'm not constantly trying to earn their attention. Edit. Some people have asked if I think Emma's business is actually failing. Honestly, I don't know. What I do know is that she was making expensive purchases right up until she asked for money, and she refused to provide any documentation about what went wrong. Whether the crisis is real or manufactured, her approach to asking for help was manipulative and entitled. Update 2. I didn't expect to post another update, but something happened last week that I think you all would find interesting. It's been about 6 weeks since I cut contact with my family, and honestly, it's been the most peaceful month and a half I've had in years. Work is going great. I'm leading a team of 4 developers on a major project, and my manager has hinted at another promotion next year. Sarah and I took a weekend trip to Vancouver, and I didn't spend the whole time checking my phone for family drama. Buster is thriving and has become the unofficial mascot of my apartment building. But last Tuesday, I got a call from Jake. "Dude, you need to hear this. Emma's business isn't failing." "What do you mean?" "I mean, she just booked a $15K wedding shoot for next month. She posted about it on her business Instagram. Premium package, destination wedding in Napa Valley." I was confused. "But I thought she was about to lose her studio." "Yeah, about that. I did some more digging. Her studio lease isn't up for renewal until next year, and she's current on rent. I know this because my friend works at the property management company." "Then what was the $45K for?" "That's the interesting part. I think I figured it out." Jake had been following Emma's social media closely, and he'd noticed a pattern. Every few months, she'd post about some amazing business opportunity that required upfront investment. A new photography workshop that would transform her technique. Equipment that was essential for competing in the market. Marketing courses that would take her business to the next level. "She's not struggling," Jake said. "She's constantly upgrading. The $45K wasn't to save her business. It was to expand it. New equipment, premium marketing services, maybe even a second studio location." But why lie about the business failing? Because asking for money to grow your business sounds optional. Asking for money to save your business sounds urgent. The manipulation was even deeper than I'd realized. Emma hadn't been facing a crisis at all. She'd been planning her next business expansion and decided I should fund it. Jake had more news. "Also, your parents haven't spoken to her in 2 weeks." What happened? Apparently, Emma asked them for another $10K last week. Something about a time-sensitive opportunity that she couldn't miss. When they said they'd already given her money this year and couldn't afford more, she accused them of not supporting her dreams. The irony was perfect. Emma had thrown me under the bus for not funding her business expansion. And then she'd turned around and asked my parents for more money. When they couldn't give it to her, she'd treated them the same way she'd treated me. "Your mom called my mom crying," Jake continued. "She said she's starting to wonder if Emma has been taking advantage of the family's generosity." I felt a mix of vindication and sadness. Vindication because I'd been right about Emma's manipulation. Sadness because my parents were just now experiencing what I'd been dealing with for years. But the biggest revelation came Friday night. I was out to dinner with Sarah when my phone rang. Mom's name flashed on the screen. I'd unblocked her number the week before, thinking maybe enough time had passed for a rational conversation. "Hi, honey. I hope I'm not interrupting anything." "I'm at dinner, but I can talk for a few minutes. I wanted to apologize, and to tell you that you were right." I nearly dropped my phone. "Emma came to us last week asking for more money. When we couldn't give it to her, she said some really hurtful things about how we'd never supported her business, how we were holding her back, how successful she could be if we just believed in her more." "I'm sorry she said that to you." The thing is, we have supported her business. Your father calculated it last night. We've given her almost 20K over the past 2 years. Equipment loans, studio deposits, marketing expenses, and she's never paid back a penny. I didn't know it was that much. We didn't tell you because we didn't want you to feel obligated to help. But now I realize we were enabling her. Every time she got in trouble, we'd bail her out. We never made her face the consequences of her financial decisions. Mom, let me finish. When you asked for a business plan and repayment terms, I thought you were being cold, but you were being responsible. You were treating her like an adult who needed to account for her choices. We were treating her like a child who needed to be rescued. I sat in the restaurant, listening to my mother admit something I'd never expected to hear. I also want to apologize for how we've treated you over the years. Your father and I were talking, and we realized that we've taken your success for granted. You've never needed rescuing, so we assumed you didn't need support either. That was wrong. Thank you for saying that. Emma's drama was always so loud, so immediate. Your achievements were quiet, steady. We mistook drama for need and stability for not caring. I did need support. I needed someone to be proud of me. We are proud of you. We've always been proud of you. We just did a terrible job of showing it. We talked for another 20 minutes. Mom told me about how Emma had responded to their refusal to give her more money by cutting contact with them too. She'd removed them from her social media and hadn't returned their calls in a week. She said we were toxic for not supporting her dreams, Mom said, but her dreams always seem to require other people's money. I don't know if this conversation changes everything between my parents and me, but it's a start. They're seeing Emma's behavior clearly for the first time, and they're acknowledging the ways they've failed me. The most interesting part is that Emma's strategy backfired completely. By asking my parents for more money right after the drama with me, she exposed her pattern of financial manipulation. By cutting them off when they couldn't give her what she wanted, she proved that her love was conditional on their willingness to fund her lifestyle. As for me, I'm cautiously optimistic about rebuilding a relationship with my parents. But I'm also clear about my boundaries. I won't be anyone's ATM, and I won't tolerate being ignored until I'm needed. Emma hasn't contacted me since I blocked her number, which honestly is fine with me. I hope her business succeeds, but not because I funded it. The whole experience has taught me something important. Sometimes the family that actually supports you isn't the one you were born into. Sarah, my co-workers, my hiking group, even my neighbors who dog-sit Buster when I travel, these people celebrate my successes and respect my boundaries. That's what real family looks like. Edit. For those asking, yes, Emma did book that 15K wedding shoot. Jake saw the contract details through his photography network. So whatever financial crisis she was facing apparently resolved itself without my 45K. Final update. I wasn't planning to post again, but several people have asked for an update, and there have been some significant developments. It's been 4 months since the original incident, and my life has settled into a really good rhythm. The project I'm leading at work wrapped up successfully, and I did get that promotion my manager hinted at. Sarah and I moved in together last month, and she's amazing with Buster. My hiking group has become some of my closest friends, and we're planning a backpacking trip through the Olympics this summer. But the family situation has evolved in unexpected ways. My relationship with my parents has slowly improved. We video call every couple of weeks, and they've made a genuine effort to show interest in my life. Mom asks about work projects. Dad wants to meet Sarah. They sent Buster a birthday present last month, which was both ridiculous and touching. More importantly, they've stopped enabling Emma's financial irresponsibility. When she asked them for money to attend some photography conference in Europe last month, they said no. According to Mom, Emma accused them of sabotaging her career, but they held firm. We learned from watching how you handled the situation, Mom told me. You set boundaries and stuck to them. We're trying to do the same. Emma, meanwhile, has been on a predictable trajectory. After being cut off by all of us, she started a GoFundMe for her struggling business. The campaign raised about $800 of its 50K goal before she deleted it. She's also tried reaching out to various extended family members for money, with limited success. But here's where things get interesting. 3 weeks ago, I got a text from an unknown number. "Hey, this is David, Emma's ex-boyfriend. I know this is weird, but I wanted to thank you for not giving her money. You probably saved yourself years of headaches." David had dated Emma 2 years ago, and apparently he'd lent her $8K for business equipment that was supposed to be paid back within 6 months. She never paid him back and broke up with him when he asked about it. "She told me her family would never support her dreams," David wrote. "But now I realize her dreams always involved other people's money." Through David, I learned that this pattern went back years. Emma had borrowed money from multiple ex-boyfriends, friends, and family members, always for the business, always with promises to pay it back, never with any actual repayment. "She's not a bad person," David said, "but she's completely delusional about money. She thinks if she just gets enough funding, her business will explode and she'll be able to pay everyone back. But she never invests the money wisely. It always goes to fancy equipment or workshops or marketing schemes." This conversation helped me understand that my refusal to give Emma money wasn't mean or selfish. It was realistic. She doesn't have a business problem. She has a spending problem. No amount of money would have fixed that. The most revealing development came last week. Emma posted a long Instagram story about how she was restructuring her business and focusing on her core strengths. Translation: she'd lost her studio space and was working from home again. But instead of acknowledging her role in this outcome, she blamed lack of family support and people who don't believe in entrepreneurship. According to Jake, who still follows her social media, she started an online course about photography business management. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife. As for me, I'm doing better than ever. The promotion came with a significant raise, and I've been able to pay down my student loans faster than expected. Sarah and I are talking about buying a house together next year. I've joined a mentorship program at work where I help junior developers navigate their careers. Most importantly, I've learned to recognize my own worth. For years, I measured my value by how useful I could be to my family. Now I understand that real relationships are based on mutual respect and genuine care, not transaction. I'm not angry at Emma anymore. I feel sorry for her. She's built her entire identity around being the struggling artist who needs rescue, and she's burned bridges with anyone who tried to hold her accountable. That's a lonely way to live. I'm also grateful for the experience in a weird way. It forced me to examine my relationships and set boundaries. It helped me understand the difference between family that loves you and family that uses you. The people who matter in my life now are the ones who were excited about my promotion before they knew how much money I made. They're the ones who check in when I'm having a bad week, not just when they need something. They're the ones who celebrate my successes without calculating what they can get from them. To anyone dealing with similar family dynamics, my advice is simple. You can't change other people, but you can change how you respond to them. Set boundaries. Stick to them. And don't feel guilty for protecting your peace. The family you choose is just as valid as the family you're born into. Sometimes it's more valid. I hope Emma figures her life out eventually, but not at the expense of mine. Edit. Thank you to everyone who has shared similar stories in the comments. It's been helpful to know I'm not alone in dealing with these kinds of family dynamics. Edit 2. For those asking about the exact timeline, the original incident was in March, first update was in May, second update was in June, and this final update is in August. Time does help put things in perspective. Edit 3. Someone asked about GoFundMe. Yes, it was real. Emma posted about it on her business social media accounts, asking for help to save her studio and continue serving her clients. When it became clear the campaign wasn't going to succeed, she deleted it and posted about taking her business in a new direction.